Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRivera.net with another live where I'm going to go ahead and cover a fitness topic, and then after we can go ahead and do some questions and answers, all right? So anyways, a topic that I want to go ahead and cover today based on emails that I got over the week is, a lot of people seem to be having issues experiencing growth in their biceps and their triceps actually. Let's go ahead and talk about that, growing the arm muscles. I think a lot of people, the biggest issue is that they pick a lot of weight when it comes to using, a weight for like barbell curls or dumbbell curls and stuff like that. So what you see a lot of times is people going like this in the gym, right? The problem when you do that though is that when you're doing all this swinging, you're not really engaging the muscle fibers. And when it comes to the biceps, okay, the biceps are a small muscle, and the only thing that the biceps do, here you go, is this, right? Now, if you're going like this in all sorts of directions, and notice that you're moving your shoulders. So basically what happens is instead of putting the tension in the biceps muscle, you're taking the tension away and dispersing it over shoulder movement, also some upper body movement, and then you're using just momentum to go ahead and move the weight from A to B. The key thing to remember, like I've said many times, is the fact that we're here to sculpt the body. Our main goal is not just to lift a weight from A to B. Our main goal is to go ahead and use a weight that enables us to give the maximum amount of muscle tension to the muscle that is being trained. In this case, we're talking about the arms. So, you gotta go ahead and choose the proper weight to be able to emphasize the biceps muscles or the tricep muscles, okay? One thing about arm growth that I want to go ahead and cover definitely is that you gotta remember is, it's composed of two muscle groups. You have the biceps and the triceps. The triceps actually compose 2/3 of the arm size, okay? So super important to go ahead and hit both sides equally, because otherwise you're just gonna go ahead and have big biceps, but you're not gonna go ahead and have the triceps on the back. And it goes back to symmetry. I mean, this not only applies to arm routines, this applies to everything. You got to hit every single muscle equally, okay? You cannot go ahead and neglect muscles, because if you start neglecting muscles, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a huge asymmetry in your body and you're not going to look great, okay? So that goes for you guys that are not training the legs, okay? Because I hear a lot of guys are like, oh, I just want to go ahead and have a nice upper body. Well, a nice upper body looks really horrible if you have toothpicks for legs. So you got to go ahead and train the legs equally harder, right? Going back to the biceps and the triceps, again, muscle tension is everything. So you got to choose a weight that is correct and that allows you to do the proper form so that all that tension is going to be taken by the muscle. Because you want to make sure that in the biceps case, you want to make sure that you can stretch the biceps, okay, properly, and then contract it. Maybe hold the contraction for a second, then all the way down, all the way up. Only the forearm moves, okay? When it comes to bicep exercises, only the forearm moves. If you're doing all sorts of different motions, you're taking tension away, okay? Which is not exactly what you want. You want to make sure that the tension goes into the biceps. In terms of repetitions, and I'll go ahead and I'll post this over here on the live. I'll go ahead and post the link. In terms of repetitions, like I've always said, everything that applies to the other muscle groups applies to the biceps and triceps as well, which is the fact that you got to periodize your training. If you're doing the same amount of repetitions all the time, your body will get used to it, okay? So, I mean, constantly, I see people that are just, doing 6 to 8 reps because they hear, oh, well, training heavy will go ahead and give you muscle mass. Well, there's only one variable, okay? You got to make sure that you're varying your program in an orderly manner so that the body doesn't get used to the program. If you do 6 to 8 repetitions all the time, you're going to go ahead and make some gains at the beginning, but then afterwards, your body's going to go ahead and get used to it, and that's it. You're not going to go ahead and make any more gains, and you'll notice that your strength gains stay kind of like at the same level. Sometimes they even begin to go down again. So that's not a good thing. So what you need to do, like I've said many times before, is that you need to alternate between periods of higher repetitions, periods of lower repetitions. The higher repetition periods, what I like to do also is that I like to keep the rest periods short in between sets, okay? So that in that manner, it kind of like pushes the body, really stresses the body. We keep the volume high, we keep the reps high, we move quickly, we finish the workout within 45 minutes, because after 45 minutes your cortisol levels begin to go up and your testosterone levels begin to go down, which is a bad thing. And you know, and after 3 to 4 weeks of that, then we go to 3 to 4 weeks of like heavier weights, slightly more rest in between sets, and you know, you go ahead and in that manner you kind of like ease the accelerator a little bit so your body can go ahead and recoup. All right, because if we keep pushing, you're gonna go ahead and reach overtraining, and then you make no gains. Okay, now when you go ahead and you back off, you allow the body to go ahead and super compensate and grow. All right, and then after a phase like that, then we go back to a higher volume phase, always changing exercises. I always like to also change the order of the exercises in every single workout, because in that manner the body has a bigger, a harder time adjusting to the workout. And again, if the body adjusts to the workout, then that's it. You're not going to go ahead and be making any gains. The body wants to remain the same. Just keep that in mind, okay? The other part of fueling muscle growth, whether it is just for the arms or for the rest of the body, is having the right diet. If you don't have the right diet, I cannot say this enough, you're not going to make any gains, okay? I wish I could go ahead and tell you that if you just go to the gym and you train hard, that's all you need. But unfortunately, that's only part of the equation. That's only half of the equation. The other half is your diet. If you don't feed your body properly, if you don't hydrate yourself, if you don't go ahead and drink enough water, and by enough water, I mean 0.66 times the body weight in ounces every single day, okay? That's a good rule of thumb. Well, if you don't do these things, you're going to have a very hard time making gains, okay? If you don't go ahead and start with a diet of like 40% carbs, 40% proteins, and 20% fats in terms of like the calories, you know, you will have a tough time making gains and having the energy needed to go and power through the workouts, okay? So super duper important to go ahead and have those two items in place over there. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and post a link over here with an ebook that basically covers in detail everything that I'm saying. There you go. Just went ahead and posted it. But going back to the arm exercises, okay, and to how to go ahead and grow the arms. You know, once you have a periodized program, then the other thing I want you to remember is that, you know, you got to be choosing the right exercises, okay? You know, if you're just constantly doing machine exercises, that's not really going to go ahead and help your cause. The best exercises are exercises where you're using free weights, okay? So, and let me tell you something. A very forgotten biceps exercise is bicep chin-ups, okay? So those are the chin-ups where you go like this, close grip, and you just lift yourself, but just using really the bicep. Don't go ahead and engage the back, okay? And it takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get there, you know. You're just going to go ahead and you're going to pull up until you can no longer, you know, up until your biceps are engaged. That's what I want to go ahead and say, okay? Because if you keep going down, then you're going to go ahead and engage the back. So you're going to go ahead and do it like this, right? It's really cool. If you cannot do chin-ups using your body weight, you can go ahead and use a Smith machine, and then you can self-spot yourself with the feet, okay? So you go on the Smith machine, and then you just set it on the highest level, and then you just go like that, and you pull up, but then you use your feet to kind of like help you self-regulate the kind of the kind of help that you need to be able to pull yourself up, okay? That's the easiest way to gain strength, to be doing pull-ups without any kind of help, all right? The other way also is using a chin-up assist machine. Some gyms have it, some gyms don't. So that's why I say that, you know, if you can do the Smith machine trick, that's going to go ahead and work very well for you too, all right? So definitely for biceps, that's a great exercise, the bicep chin-ups. And then you have, of course, the dumbbell curls, you have the incline curls, you have the concentration curls. I do like some cable curls, you know, where you go ahead and either you pull the cables and you go like this, or you can go like that too. So, you know, you can go ahead and do some cables at the end of the workout. For triceps, obviously you have the tricep dips, you have the close grip bench press, you have the lying tricep extensions, you have various ways of doing tricep kickbacks, reverse grip, neutral grip, and then, pronated grip. A whole variety of exercises out there. Of course, in terms of cables, you have the tricep pushdowns, which are wonderful, okay? Those are great, okay? Those are all great exercises. And the key thing to maximizing the effect of these exercises, exactly, skull crushers, honey, you got it. Exactly, the lying tricep extensions or skull crushers, because if you go too fast, pow, you crush your skull. So, so just be careful with those. You just gotta go ahead and, again, you gotta use the right weight, okay? When you're doing the higher repetitions, what I suggest you do in terms of tempo, go rhythmic, go with like a more rhythmic kind of tempo like this. Always the key thing is to engage the muscle. It's not just lifting the weight from A to B. You want to be contracting those muscle fibers, okay? That is the ticket. Annie, don't worry. When I started training, I did hit my forehead too, and I very quickly learned why they're called skull crushers. So, been there, done that. No worries. But anyways, yes, like I was saying, all of these are great exercises that you can go ahead and do, but the ticket is to go ahead and use the right weight, the right tempo, like I was saying, contract the muscle, know what you're doing as you're doing the exercise. When you go in the heavier weight phases, what I recommend you do is that you slow down, 3 to 4 seconds to go ahead and take the weight down, couple seconds to bring the weight up, and maybe hold the contraction for a second. Why do I do this in the heavier phases? There's a good reason for that. When you alternate, when you do periodization and you do the right programs, what's going to happen is that when you go from the higher repetition phases to the lower repetition phases, your body, it's really going to go through a growth spurt. It's going to go through a strength spurt as well. Okay, your strength is going to go through the roof. What happens if you allow your body to to lift as much as it can is the fact that the muscles always get stronger than the connective tissue on the joints. Okay, so even though it's going to be light for you to be able to do an exercise with proper form, your joints and connective tissue may not be ready for it, and you may end up getting injured. So as a result, I think that's why it's a good idea to kind of cripple yourself by using the tempo, a slower tempo, and in that manner you have still maximal muscle tension. You're still going to be able to increase the weights, but you're not going to be able to increase the weights so much so that you incur into connective tissue and joint damage, okay? So it's a great longevity type of strategy right there that when I was younger, of course, I didn't know about, and that's why, I feel better now than I did back when I was 14, because back then, I was all banged up. I was just trying to do as much as humanly possible, and, obviously that didn't help, because I didn't know about periodization, so I was always training heavy, and then, of course, you get injured. Annie says, what do you think about occlusion training? I've tried it, but don't like it. Me personally, Annie, for me, it's not the kind of stuff for me. I don't say that it's not effective. It is, based on everything I've read. I have some really good articles that I've read. In fact, I shared them over here. I would need to look them up. And it looks like a good strategy for more advanced people. But like I said, it all goes back to preference, right? I mean, if you don't like something, I don't see why you should do it. And the same thing with me. I mean, I don't know. I did try it. I like kind of like the rush and stuff, but it's not the kind of stuff that I could see myself doing, all the time. So, I mean, it seems to be very effective, yes, and the research is there to go ahead and show that it's good. And the key thing is just to, do the occlusions properly. But like I said, it's like you, I didn't really enjoy it. So it's not something that I do. I just stick to, like I said, to periodization and things like that. And you can include occlusion training in a periodized training. You could go ahead and do it, especially like in the heavy phases and stuff like that. I think it's could be beneficial if you don't mind doing it, But for me, it's not my thing, so I don't do it. Let's see. What else here? Okay, so that's that in terms of like biceps and triceps, okay? Again, like I said, what applies to all the other muscle groups applies to the arms, which is short workouts. Some people are like, well, I got to grow my arms, so I want to go ahead and train them, I want to go ahead and train them longer. That's a bad idea because after 45 minutes, your cortisol levels go through the roof. So not a good thing. Let me see, I have a question here. What's a good tip for increasing food intake? Luis Rosado says. Luis, how are you, man? Here's an idea for you. Go ahead and have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And basically, in between meals, you want to go ahead and have some protein shakes, okay? So if you have breakfast, let's say at, 7 o'clock in the morning, you may want to go ahead and have a protein shake at 10. Then at 12, you have your lunch. At 3 o'clock, you have another protein shake. At 6 o'clock, you have dinner. And then maybe you have another protein shake like at 8 o'clock. 8:30, okay? In that manner, by incorporating those liquid meals with the real meals, you'll be able to get more nutrition in, because otherwise it's kind of hard, and I've been there, done that. I mean, to be able to eat like 3,000 clean calories is not easy. It's easy to eat 3,000 calories of garbage, but it's not easy to go ahead and eat 3,000 calories of good food, because clean food is very dense, so it doesn't have a lot of calories in it if you're eating clean. So that's it's very tough to be able to eat, like I said, 3,000, 3,500 calories of just pure food. That's tough. So that's why liquid meals are a good idea. Makes it easy for you to be able to do that. And if you're a hard gainer, Luis, what I recommend is that your protein shakes be mixed up with some liquid carbs as well. And there's some good formulas, like for example, if you go into the Labrada nutrition site, labrada.com, you'll be able to go ahead and see like some, they have like some good weight gainers over there. This is only if you have a super fast metabolism, okay? If you have a normal metabolism, don't use a weight gainer. But I'm just saying that, a good idea is to either A, you can have like a weight gainer, which also has like some liquid carbs in it, or B, you can go ahead and take your protein and mix it up with like cream of rice, which is pretty high in carbs. Like 1/4 of a cup of cream of rice actually has 38 grams of carbs. That's when measured dry. You go ahead and mix up the protein with it once you go ahead and cook the cream of rice, and that goes ahead and gives you some carbs and some proteins. If you want more carbs than that, you can easily just go ahead and down half a cup of the cream of rice. That already gives you almost 80 grams of carbs right there. And then, with 2 scoops of protein, you may be looking at, 45 grams of protein. So 45 grams of protein and 80 grams of carbs. And then maybe put in like a little bit less than a tablespoon of extra virgin coconut oil, and that's going to go ahead and give you like around 10 grams of fat if you go ahead and put less than a tablespoon, slightly less than a tablespoon, okay? So all this is really, really good nutrition, and that's the easiest way to go ahead and increase your food intake, okay, Luis? So hopefully it helps. And he says, he can also increase more calories than stuff like good fats, nuts, etc. Yeah, exactly. That's why I went ahead and said to go ahead and get the coconut oil, because I think it's crucial. A lot of people forget this, but they go ahead and they get like the protein shakes and stuff like that for in between meals, but they don't add any fats to it, and then you're missing the opportunity. Number one, to get your 20% fats. I mean, remember, you got to have 20% fats of the total calories in your diet, because otherwise your hormonal production will go down. So that's key right there. And a lot of people go ahead and forget to add those fats, and that's a bad idea. So you're missing on the opportunity to go ahead and add good calories, and B, you're missing out on your fats, which is a bad thing. So yeah, don't neglect the fats, anybody, okay? Lewis says, yes, I do. So you have a fast metabolism. Well, Lewis, you know what? I'll tell you what. Easiest thing, then the cream of rice, like I said, with the extra virgin coconut oil and the protein, okay? It's going to go ahead and help you tremendously. It's super easy to go ahead and down in between meals, all right? John says, what do you suggest for sleep aid? John, you know what? Once I get off the live, what I'm going to go ahead and do is that I'm going to post a link, because there is a product that's actually pretty good. It just came out, and I recommended it to some of my clients, and they're doing really, really well with it. So, but I don't have the link off the top of my head, so I need to go ahead and look up for the link, but I'll be sure to go ahead and post it here. And you know what? I'll private message you too, So check your others folder to go ahead and make sure that you got it. But I'll be sure to go ahead and take care of you for that. Okay. It's also some people use like valerian root tea and chamomile tea before going to bed. That also helps. But this formula that I'm gonna send you, is completely natural, and it helps you to go ahead and go to sleep. The other thing too, John, is that try to go ahead and make it a point to go to bed, if possible, at the same time each night, so you kind of create a pattern, right? So let's say that you're going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. Make sure that like around 10, you shut off all kind of like electronic devices and things like that, because it's been proven that, if you're watching TV or if you're using the iPad or something else like that, it makes it harder for you to go ahead and get into the state that of relaxation that fosters sleep. Okay, so definitely I would go ahead and recommend that you do those things. And of course, make sure also, if you're having sleep issues, make sure that you try to train earlier, if at all possible. Try to train first thing in the morning, if at all possible, if not at lunchtime, and if not, maybe like around 5 o'clock, because the later you train, the harder it is for you to go to sleep after. Okay, so those are things too that I recommend for you to go ahead and take a look at in your program. Okay, so anyways, hope that helps. I'll definitely be sure to send you the email for pre-workout, John. What I use is the Labrada Nutrition Supercharge, which I'll go ahead and post a link for over here. I use the stimulant-free one because I just don't like to go ahead and have a whole ton of caffeine at once these days. So I use the stimulant-free one, and I go ahead and take it before the workout, like around 30 minutes or so. It's awesome. It has like, it has the L-tyrosine, it has like the beta-alanine, the creatine, the nitric oxide boosters, the BCAAs. It's just a really, really good formula, so I like it. And like I said, I use the stimulant-free one. If you want to go ahead and use the stimulant one, just know that it has like 400 milligrams of caffeine, between 350 to 400 milligrams of caffeine. So if you're caffeine sensitive, just keep that in mind, okay? Yeah, it's a great pre-workout. I really like it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and post the link on that one, but it's labrada.com. For that one, it's just labrada.com, and just look for the Supercharge. You go ahead and find it. The one that has no stimulants, it says stim free, so that way that it doesn't have any stimulants. Hugo, can you expand on what fats actually are? Well, Tim, hi, how are you, man? Good to see you here. Yeah, of course I can expand on the fats. Good fats, man. You want to go ahead and have like extra virgin coconut oil, or you want to have extra virgin olive oil, or you want to have the fish oils. Fish oils are crucial. You got to have fish oils because they help you with recovery. They help you with muscle gaining and fat loss, and they help you with a whole bunch of other functions as well, and with health properties and all sorts of things. Okay, so fish oils are really important for everybody to have. So I typically take a couple of tablespoons a day of fish oils myself. Okay, however, Tim, if you're eating salmon and things like that, then you're getting the fish oils from that. All right, but you need to eat it daily though. If you're eating salmon, if you don't eat salmon, what I recommend is that if you don't eat salmon daily, on the days that you don't eat it, definitely go ahead and have like a couple tablespoons of the fish oils. You can go ahead and have like a tablespoon with a meal, and then another tablespoon later on with another meal. Okay. The other fats that you can go ahead and have are obviously fats from like cashews, hazelnuts, good nuts like that. Peanut butter, it depends. Some people respond really good to it. Other people retain water from it. In fact, most people, I should say, get some sort of like water retention from peanut butter. Maybe a slight allergic reaction. And of course, other people are just simply allergic to peanuts. So they shouldn't be touching that stuff with a 10-foot pole. But for those people that don't have any kind of allergies or issues with it, organic peanut butter is great as well. Let me think. Did I miss any of the fats? I think, well, obviously the fats from eggs, those are great too. Don't be misled by the stupidity of, some people saying, oh, the fats from eggs are bad. No, not really. Those are natural fats. They're full of lecithin. They're full of, good nutrition that the body needs. So, I mean, honestly, when I make sure that I eat like 3 eggs a day, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, don't be afraid of the whole egg, for sure. So, yeah, those are all good fats, Tim. So I think, let me see. I don't think I skipped any fat. If I skipped any, I'll be sure to email you. But I think I covered all the fats right there. And what happens, Tim, is that fats are needed for hormonal production, for brain function, for proper joint functioning, for a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, here's some trivia. The body can actually live without carbohydrates. I'm not saying that you're going to go ahead and have super performance, but I'm saying that you could live without carbs, but you can live without proteins, you cannot live without good fats, okay? So good fats are essential. That's why they're called essential fats, and that's why the fish oils, for example, are so important, because they're super high on omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Oh, I forgot flax seeds. Those are pretty good fats too. I just prefer the fish oils as opposed to like flaxseed oil, for example, simply because the fish oils have more of the omegas in it. But flaxseed oil, very good too. And the flax seeds are very good as well. Okay. Let me see. Luis says, I will try that. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. What else we have here? Roshan says, howdy, Hugo. Hey, buddy. How are you, man? Good to see you. John says, awesome. Thanks. You're very welcome, my friend. Tim says, I do fish oil every pre-workout. Great. Great stuff. I'm telling you, Tim, kid you not, fish oils are amazing, especially for like anti-inflammation and recovery. I cannot speak highly enough. If I were to not take fish oils for like a few days, my performance immediately goes down. It's just that simple. So fish oils are really, really, really good. Johnny says, are glutamine and creatine good for the body? When should I take them? Yeah, man, they're awesome. Really, really good stuff. Really cheap to get these days, thank God. What I would suggest you do is that you can take them before and after the workout, or at the very least, definitely take them before the workout, and it's going to go ahead and help you with recovery. You don't need to take a whole bunch, like the glutamine, I don't know, 5 grams before and after. The creatine, just 2.5 grams, which is like half a teaspoon. 2.5 grams before and after the workout is great. And like I said, if you wanted to just do 2.5 before the workout, that's going to actually be sufficient, to be quite honest with you. Tim says, I love peanut butter. Yeah, who doesn't, right? Tim says, fish oils every day? Yeah, I take them every day, to be honest with you. They're just that great, to be honest, because they help you with recovery. They help you with a whole bunch of other body functions as well. So yeah, why not? You know, if you can go ahead and take them every day, I would certainly suggest that you take them every single day, Tim. Okay? Yeah, fish oils, wonderful. I mean, honestly, like I said, 2 tablespoons for me every day. Days that I eat salmon, I may just do 1 tablespoon, okay? I love salmon, actually. I really do, especially the way that Cecile cooks it. It's like amazing. So, yeah, how could I pass by on that? You know what I mean? Uriel Sanchez. Hey, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. So you said, Uriel says, hi, Hugo. Just had shoulder surgery, biceps tendon repair. What's a good supplement to, give me a second, because, sorry, Uriel, I have to go ahead and search for your comment over here on the desktop, well, my laptop, because the iPad truncated your comment. Tim says, sounds good, gotta train. Send you Okinawa pics. Time to get it done. Awesome, Tim. Go ahead and get it done, man. Get it done. Go ahead and kill it over there. I know you are. So, good to see you on the live. Have fun. I'll go ahead and check out the pictures, by the way. Okay? Take care, buddy. GIFD. Uriel, let me get back to you, buddy. Let's see if the laptop is cooperating. Yeah, here we go. So Uriel is saying that he had shoulder surgery, bicep tendon repair, good supplements for recovery. Honestly, Elasti Joint, man, from Labrada Nutrition again. Labrada.com. Go ahead and look for Elasti Joint. 1 scoop every day, okay? Because it has a glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, vitamin C, gelatin, really awesome stuff. I've taken that stuff for years, and man, I kid you not, it's incredible. Incredible. In fact, when my buddy Rodney had the knee surgery and stuff, I sent him some Elasti Joint as well to help him with the recovery. It just really helps tremendously because it has the right amount of all the good supplements that have been shown to help with with the joint health and the recovery of them. Okay, so definitely I would suggest that you go ahead and take that, and be sure to hydrate yourself properly. Be sure to go ahead and have the proper nutrition and the proper amount of proteins, because in that manner all that tissue regeneration will happen much quicker. okay? I'm sorry to hear that you had all these surgeries. This really, it's a setback. But you know, the good news is that you're gonna get better and you're gonna come back stronger. And I've seen this so many times. Don't think that because you went through the surgery, you're not gonna go ahead and be able to excel as before. Okay. In fact, I know many people who are now looking better now than prior to their surgery. And I know of people that have had, you know, like shoulder surgery and at the same time like back surgery and knee surgery and all this stuff. And it's like they come back. So it's all mind over matter, okay? And of course, you know, just making sure that you're doing things properly, that when you get back to training, you're not doing too much too soon. You make sure that you're eating properly. You make sure that you're supplementing yourself properly. The same thing also applies with the fish oils, Uriel. Make sure that you take a couple of tablespoons of the fish oils every day, just because they help with the recovery, all right? And like I said, it's just good for you because it helps with many, many other functions as well in the body, okay? So definitely fish oils, man, I'm a huge, huge fan of fish oils. I just cannot talk highly enough of the fish oils. Uriel says, thanks, bro. Man, my pleasure, buddy. My pleasure. Hope everything is going well. I hope that, you know, if you have any family left in Puerto Rico, man, I hope everybody's doing good. I have my dad over there, actually. From last I heard, you know, he's okay. Got very blessed. You know, the house is standing. It's not completely underwater or anything like that. One of the rooms got inundated, yes, but, you know, that got taken care of. I've seen some other people over there that are not having a good time at all. So I just really hope that that whole situation in Puerto Rico gets sorted as quickly as humanly possible. So gotta go ahead and have our prayers on that, okay? Anyways, Uriel, man, good to see you here, man. Really, really good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you in contest shape soon enough. You know, even if you're not competing, who cares, right? It's like, there's no need for a show to be in contest shape, right? I mean, we don't have to get exactly in contest shape, but close enough just to go ahead and look good at the beach. That sounds good enough for me. So, so you know, that's what it's all about. Just looking good for yourself, buddy. Anyways, many blessings. Good to see you again. With that said, that's pretty much all I have for today. I really enjoyed being with you all this Friday night over here. I'll be back on the next Friday night. Again, you know, I'll be posting the link for the Labrada site here. And then in the meantime, for any of you who need like coaching or who would go ahead and like to use one of my books for getting in shape quickly, I'm posting the link again over here. It's been an honor and a pleasure talking to everybody. Until next time, take care and train hard. Bye-bye.